Udah.
Start.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from Group 5 and we would like to present the fifth material about language choice and language learning. Next, we are consisted of 6 members. First is me, Samara Nazifa Putri, then Albi Munandar, Yonatan Nicholas Nauli Yahuda, Rifki Fadila, Robi Deta Sumarlin, and Ardi Surya Saputra. Next. First, I am going to explain about what is language choice. Language choice describes a situation where communities that speak more than one language can choose which language to use in bi or multilingual communities. There is a policy which in classroom, teachers are required to use only foreign language. Previous slide, please. Use only foreign language in their language lessons to maximize learners' exposure to the language and thus their learning opportunities. The assumption here is that the more pupils hear and the more they are used to, the more they learn due to brain development. However, this assumption ignores the possibility that certain uses of learners' first language might also contribute to foreign language learning. In fact, according to research and evidence in practice, most teachers who shares the same first language as their students tend to use the combination of first and target language. Next material will be presented by Aldi.
Previous slide, please. Yeah. So, teachers using first language in foreign language lesson classroom. There are reasons why some teachers use first language in foreign language class. The first is lack of confidence and competence. The teachers may do not feel confident or competent enough to use foreign language for full range of classroom. Teachers require to have advanced knowledge and fluence of target language in order to use it. In order to use it efficiently in classroom, to be confident, teacher might need training to broaden their knowledge, keep them up to date and fluent. The second reason is struggle against the natural force of communication. If teacher and class shares the same first language, then not using it to communicate it might feel unnatural for them. Young learners may feel even more unnatural to use foreign language to communicate. Next slide. So uses of first language in foreign language classroom. When first language is used in lesson, it is more likely to manage classroom activity and behavior. Although there is a variation of language choice from the situation another, the motivation of any particular choice is partly of highlight what is happening the moment and partly habits to the teachers and the class develop over time. So the uses of first language for the teacher can be explaining aspect of learn foreign language, translating the first language to the second language, or vice versa, giving instruction, checking understanding of the students, get learners' attention, testing, giving feedbacks, disciplining or and controlling, friendly talk to the students, and talking about learning with the students or with another teacher. Next material will be presented by Jonathan.
Okay. The function of the use of first language for student is first asking for help, And second is responding to teacher question. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, dynamic of language choice. In classroom interaction, the dynamic of language choice can be seen on how teacher talk and respond to student and vice versa. Both teacher and student make choices about which language to use. They may also switch language during their talk, and language choice in classroom may be affected by first, which, which language is used by the previous participant. Second, who is speaking and their conversational right to save the language. Third, norm and pattern of language choice that is developed between the teacher and the class over time. The next material will be presented by Rifki.
uh, teachers teacher responsibility to make choices. The teacher has an ultimate responsibility for the movement of language being used in classroom during a lesson to maximize language learning opportunities. Teachers need to take the lead of the use of foreign language in a classroom. For example, when a student asks something in their first language, teacher respond using the target language. Teachers need to use as much of the target language as possible while ensuring that use of first language support the children's language learning. Here the list below are ways to practice how to carry the lesson without relying on first language. So the first is explaining new language. When the new words or sentences are encountered, learners need to know their meaning. Teachers might feel the urge to explain it using the first language, but in order to ensure the maximum usage of target language, teachers can support a child's search for the meaning of the new words or sentences through the pictures, video, action, gestures, and so on. Translation to first language can be used if the teacher wants to check their students' understanding. The second one is giving instruction. Instruction of an activity often more complicated than the activity itself. Therefore, instruction can be supported with pictures relevant to key stage in the right order as a reminder. For example, using a picture of a group of children talking to instruct the children to do a storytelling in a group. And the third one is checking the understanding. Checking the children's understanding is important for class management and learning. If teachers ask their students if they understood the lessons, the learners are likely to say, even though that is not true. Instead of asking, teachers can encourage children to explain or asking them to select a correct picture or arrange picture in the right order. And the last one is feedback. Using first language to correct children can be sweet with using target language and adding the right one of voice and expression to convey the teacher's attitude. And the next material will be presented by Robbie.
Making language choice conscious. Here's a way of making language conscious for the learners. We suggest play pretend. The pretend nature of using foreign language in a classroom can be effective to teach young learners to speak target language more. Pretending can make the student more aware of the language they are using. Ask ask the children to pretend to have a switch to toggle between first language and target language, then remind them to switch to the target language when they speak. Young children are usually happy to go along with this kind of ideas, since it's almost like playing. Encouraging the use of target language. In classes where learners all share the same first language or national language, teachers need to use a range of options to encourage learners to use the target language as much as possible. The following range of options is based on the idea that there are several reasons why learners use the first language when they should be using the target language. Here are some of the ways of dealing with these obstacles. First is manageable tasks. You may choose a manageable tasks that are within the learner's proficiency. Second is pre-teaching. Prepare your learners for tasks by pre-teaching the language item and skill needed. Third is stage and grade tasks. Use stage and grade tasks that bring learners up to the level required. Fourth is play pretend. Get learners to pretend to be an English speaker so they will use target language in order to do that. Okay, next is Rifki,
Number 5
Ardi.
is make it unavoidable. So make the target language an unavoidable part of the task. Retelling activities, script stories, completing activities, and role plays all is required for the use of the target language. Number 6 is discuss the value. So discuss with the learners the value of using the L2 in class. 7 is get learners. 7 is find the solution. So get the learners to discuss the reasons why they avoid using the L2 and get them to suggest solution to encourage the L2 use. And the last one is no treats. Use non-treating tasks. Learners can choose their own groups. The teacher can stay out of the groups. Allow learners to prepare well for the task. Don't use tasks that put learners in embarrassing situation and choose the interesting one, not threatening the topics. And that's all of our presentation. Thanks for watching the video and don't forget to comment below if you have any question to ask. And thank you very much.